Good morning, Greater Latrobe. For today's edition of Around Latrobe, I'm your host, Alex Bizignani, alongside Gianna Ferry. The student store has had a very successful year as it continues to grow. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Marker and some of the staff members in our first story. The student store gets bigger and better as the years pass by. New products brings in new customers, which brings in more money for our school.
This year, the store evolved from a small stand behind a counter into a walk-in gift shop with a new electronic payment machine.
Electronic payment's been very helpful. People have been coming in here, oh, I don't have any cash on me, so I'm just going to use my card. So they swipe it, they buy a bag of chips and something like that.
The store has everything you're looking for, from a snack in between classes to a Wildcat sweatshirt for someone at home.
Okay, the popular items that we have in the store typically are the t-shirts. Those are always the big sellers, probably because they're the most reasonably priced. Usually you can get a t-shirt for $10, $15. But we also sell a lot of hoodies, especially online.
Many of the sales come from the online store. The store's wide variety of clothing and accessories attract customers from miles away.
Surprisingly enough, we've had customers in probably 5 states that have logged on and actually purchased stuff that we've shipped merchandise to.
The student store offers many discounts throughout the year that keep these large and distant orders coming.
Here at the end of the year, we're running a sale from the beginning of May till the end of May in honor of our 2017 graduates.
The student store committee meets up throughout the year to decide on new designs and products for the store. You can count on them to continue to impress the public with new products every year.
And typically at the beginning of the year, we offer things like new t-shirts, maybe 1 or 2 new styles of hoodie. We also might explore things like a seat cushion, lanyards, those kind of things, just to kind of keep that new idea, that new style back into the student store at the beginning of every year.
Visit the online store this summer and get the latest Latrobe gear to start off the new school year. Reporting from WCAT-TV, I'm Alex Bizignani.
While growing up in a predominantly white school, many Asian American students face several challenges. Here's Olivia Svidron with a deeper look into the fascinating stories of several of our fellow students.
The halls of Greater Latrobe Senior High are filled with students who each have their own stories and experiences to tell. However, you may not be aware of the important stories of Asian American students who make up only 1% of our student body. Although fitting in and interacting with other kids is an obstacle that many of us face while growing up, this struggle can be even more difficult for Asian students such as Anna who have unique cultural backgrounds.
Before I went to kindergarten, I only spoke Japanese and Chinese at home. So going into school, it was really hard for me to transition at first, just trying to speak with the other kids and trying to learn English while I was doing that. And even as I grew up, there are definitely cultural differences, whether it's food or just etiquette. So that has been a very, big obstacle for me.
Along with overcoming cultural differences, being labeled with stereotypes is something that students often struggle with. Luckily, many young Asian Americans, including Nicole Plack, have role models who they can look up to as motivation to reach their goals.
My first role model was probably Michelle Phan. She did makeup videos on YouTube. And whenever I was younger, I really just thought Asians, you grow up, you become a doctor or a lawyer or something, and it's all business professional kind of things. And then I saw Michelle Phan, I was like, oh, I can do fun things too. It's not just that stereotype for me.
Although facing stereotypes and discrimination can often be discouraging, Kevin Chen strongly encourages fellow Asian American students to not focus on this type of negativity.
If you're facing any discrimination, what I would say would be just take it with a grain of salt. Don't let what they say get to you. You're your own person, and you go for your own goal, shoot for your own goals.
It is clear just how difficult it can be for Asian American students to grow up in an environment where they're visibly different from their peers. However, by learning to embrace these differences, they have been able to push through cultural and racial barriers. Reporting for WCAT-TV, I'm Olivia Svidron.
Are you interested in pursuing a career in the medical field? Mutual Aid has a unique program that is a great opportunity for students to gain experience in hours as an EMT. Here's reporter Abby Blychek with the story.
The EMT program is a program that gives young people interested in the medical field opportunities to gain hours and experience. The EMT program has been going on for over 50 years.
But EMTs have been around since the 60s when the inception of the ambulance service started.
To be eligible to partake in the EMT program, You must be at least 16 years of age to be an EMT and certified to the national standard.
Once certified as an EMT, they'll be part of a two-person crew. Could be 2 EMTs or an EMT and a paramedic. And they will be assigned an ambulance, and depending on what station they're out of, they have an area that they are responsible for.
A typical day as an EMT usually consists of about an 8, 10, 12, or 16-hour shift.
Every day is a new adventure. Calls vary differently every one we go on. It could be a non-emergency type incident where we take somebody to a doctor's appointment, or they could be a trauma-related something. Somebody falls off a ladder and is bleeding or is in a car crash.
The classes last about 230 hours.
It's a great start because anybody who becomes certified as an EMT sees where a patient's first contact with a healthcare provider is after they dial 911.
The EMT program is a great way to get involved in the medical field, and being an EMT or paramedic is one way to get patient care hours. If you're looking for a great way to gain hours, experience, and more knowledge in the medical field, then sign up and register for this program. Reporting for WCAT-TV, I'm Abby Blychak.
From the Latrobe Police Station to Latrobe High School, Officer Dirk and his K-9 Rocky help express the importance of driving responsibly.
With summer almost here, students are making plans to hang out with friends, but they need to make their decisions responsibly. Studies show that 2 out of 3 Americans will be in an alcohol-related crash at some point in their lives.
What I would recommend for any student, any child under a minor child, is if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're put into either an alcohol situation or a drug situation, you obviously want to get yourself out of it. You want to leave. You want to go away from whoever's trying to push you into that. If you do find yourself that you did drink, don't drive. We want you calling someone to get a ride, whether it be your parents. I know for my own children, they're not old enough yet, but my own children, I want them calling me to tell me, I drank, I made a poor decision, I don't want to drive, can you come and get me? That's what I want. I don't want you behind the wheel of a car.
It is extremely important that you make sure you or someone else do not get behind the wheel intoxicated. It's not only putting your life in danger, but innocent people as well.
Information and getting that stuff to the students is important to us. Because if we can stop one person from doing something that could hurt them in life, I'm happy with that.
The SAD Club hosted a positive decision-making event on May 5th. Having these community groups in the DUI simulators at our school helped students learn firsthand that they may think driving drunk isn't hard, but in reality, they keep swerving.
This program made me realize how important this topic is and how hard it is to do anything when you're under the influence. So, be safe.
Alcohol is involved in about 40% of all fatal car crashes. There were numerous individuals who took time out of their day to help showcase the dangers of impaired driving.
I think it's really important to let the kids know that alcohol and impairment and getting behind the wheel is really dangerous, and being part of this fair would help them to gain knowledge about that and to stay away from drugs and alcohol and to be smart and be safe on the road.
Many students visited the event throughout the day.
Okay, it was very difficult to drive and steer with the goggles. I think anything that makes it more difficult to see, because I like to be able to see when I can drive and keep myself alive.
From this experience, I learned a lot with the simulations, understanding that whenever you're drunk, you're not going to comprehend anything. You're not only putting your life in danger, but you're putting someone else's or others' lives in danger, and that's not okay. And you should want to make a smart decision because your life matters.
Making poor decisions not only harms you, but affects the people around you. This is evident in the activities at this event. Never get behind the wheel intoxicated. Reporting for WCAT-TV, I'm Gabby Lesko.
Thanks for tuning into this edition of Around Latrobe. Tune in tomorrow for more in-depth stories about our Latrobe community.